Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another fantastic episode of The Left Wing. I am TJ Whitehead, powers taken, not given, joined as always by John Cooper of Counterpoint Politics. How are you doing today, my friend?
Doing good, TJ. It has been a very, very busy and hectic week in the life of John Cooper. I was just telling TJ before this, guys, but I've looked at zero news today. So I hope, actually, no, I'm sure crazy things have happened, but I hope none of them actually matter. What's going on, TJ? Catch me up.
Well, it's funny, like Friday through Monday, I took some time off and I was kind of unplugged too. I have seen a few funny and interesting things that I wanted to discuss and, prepping up for Thursday and all that. But before we start, I wanted to pull up this comment that was left here by Keith, the stubborn jackass McGee. In all caps, it states, "What if every right-winger suddenly disappeared? Then would you libs be happy?" And Keith, my answer to that is, if every right winger disappeared, I would look for them. I would start wondering where these missing people went. I would try to track them down. The first place I would check is directly up your mom's ass, because that's where I hear everybody's hanging out these days. I mean, everyone I know has been there at least once or twice. So that would be my answer, Keith. So, do with that what you will.
Yeah, no, I agree with that, TJ. I think that it's getting a little.
You were just there last week, John.
Yeah, I know. It's just getting a little used at this point. I think that there's better places that they might be able to go. His grandma, I heard, has been pretty open lately. But it is what it is, TJ.
Good stuff. But yeah, I've been seeing a couple of random things here and there on the news, but want to get some banter in. I found something out yesterday, John. Now listen, you might have already known this, so don't dunk on me too much if you did. But did you know you actually can put metal in microwaves?
I saw your video on this. I don't know why. I've had very little time to watch video. You're one of 3 TikToks I've watched, and it was that dumb video microwaving the metal. But I was like, oh shit. I can't believe that. I thought it was going to be a joke. I thought you were going to put something in there.
Oh my God.
Hey, yo, conservatives, look, you can totally do this.
Oh,
try it out. But then it actually worked. And I was like, wait a second. Am I the dummy here?
Man, funny. That does sound like a video I would do. That actually does.
It does. That's where I thought it was going.
That I was like, oh, conservatives, try it out, try microwave this. No, I did another one today because I responded to a comment on it where someone said, all right, I saw you do it, but I'm still skeptical. And so I did a whole other video like an hour ago where I took a spoon and I put a spoon in the microwave, closed it, turned it on, perfectly fine. And as it turns out, you can put metal in microwaves as long as it's smooth, it has a rounded edge, and it doesn't have sharp points that are close together, which is incredibly subjective, like what counts as sharp and what counts as close together. But you can't put forks in microwaves. That's going to cause the electric sparks. And you can't put aluminum or tin foil in there because it's got crinkled edges that are kind of sharp. But yeah, I
kind of like how you can touch one telephone wire, but you cannot touch 2.
Yeah, and I'm shocked that I never heard this. Apparently, I guess there was a Mythbusters episode on it. Someone told me in the comments that they did it, and all this time. I mean, when you're as smart as people like John and I are, you don't learn a whole lot of brand new things like this. And this one, I'm glad to see that we both expanded the old brain.
You don't learn too many new things, but about half the new things I learn every week. Kitchen related. I think that's pretty fair to say.
Well, it's the most important room in the house. I mean, come on, let's be real. I mean, you got to eat, so
it's the second deadliest room in the house, following the bathroom. I don't know if you knew that, but the most deaths occur in the bathroom.
I would guess bathroom.
Second most deaths occur in the kitchen.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess.
I don't know after that.
I would guess bathroom, drowning incidents, falling in the tub. I can see stuff like that, or to shower. That's also something where, as you get older, you start to get slowly more and more aware of the fact that you're aging. And the other day, I lost my balance in the shower and was legitimately scared. Legitimately scared. Like, oh man, this could be really bad. I mean, I'm sure I've fallen in the shower before. I've lost my balance. It was okay, but that's oh man, at the age now where this could really be a problem. So yeah, that was also other weird fun fact. There is an inverse relationship between the muscle mass you have in your thighs and rates of mortality in elderly people. So the higher your muscle mass is in your thighs, the lower your mortality is. And the reason for that is falls, because if you have more muscle in your thighs, you're less likely to fall. You can stabilize yourself more quickly. So if you want to live a long time, one of the best ways to do that is don't skip leg day. Don't skip leg day. Get those quads and hamstrings in order.
Hey, that's good to hear, because I got these thunder thighs. Us short, squat hill people. I guess we're good for one thing, and that's not dying. But yeah, okay, that's our random banter for the week about things totally unrelated to politics. This is our Q&A show, by the way, guys. So if you have any questions for us, definitely drop them in the comments. We'd love to answer them. But I know, TJ, you had put that Rizz-Less Hakeem Jeffries attacking the far left is the title of this episode. What did he do? What did our great fearless leader do now, TJ?
First, I want to talk about the Rizz-Less part. Is that I can't stress enough how charisma-free Hakeem Jeffries is. I know it really is. Like it's stunning. Yeah, for someone who's made it this far in politics. And granted, we've seen politicians who've been pretty boring before. It's not a prerequisite to have any authority or any success in politics. But I don't think I've seen a one with such prominence worse than Hakeem Jeffries. It's not like Nancy Pelosi was, 08 Obama or anything like that, right? But I mean, I would listen to her for 10 hours before listening to Hakeem Jeffries for 5 minutes. And I saw this clip with Hakeem Jeffries talking to Stephen A. Smith, who, I don't know if you've heard about this, but people have been semi-seriously floating Stephen A. Smith as a Democratic politician for the future. Have you heard that?
Oh, I'm all in on Stephen A. Smith.
Really?
We can spend the rest of this episode talking about why Stephen A. Smith is the left-wing Donald Trump. Because that guy, let me make the case here, TJ, because you seem to be skeptical. Obviously, his politics are going to be fucking all over the place. Like if we're going to go the Stephen A. route, you have to account for some stupid shit happening. So that being said, he's going to trounce any fucking right-wing debate bro in like a one-to-one, either on the internet, in person, just total dominance of airwaves. Stephen A. Smith invented this game. Like, he has been dominating the media with takes since long before Donald Trump ever got into this game, right? So like, he's going to be better at what Donald Trump does. He's going to do it in a far more coherent way. Like, he's not going to sound as stupid as much of the time. And when you like line those two things up together, they're going to be playing the same game. And Stephen A. is just better at it. Like, in a one-to-one competition against Donald Trump, Stephen A. wins. And that's the problem, is that, hopefully it's not Donald Trump. Please God, we cannot let him find some loophole to run again. We can't let that happen. But I would want to utilize him as a mouthpiece. Like, I would want to utilize him as much as possible from the Democratic Party, because he knows how to dominate the headlines as much as Trump does, and can be a great just communicator for the party. But yeah, he's also crazy. So there's that.
Well, I don't have any doubts at all that Stephen A. Smith could hold his own in political debates or on talk shows, or, I mean, he's got the charisma part down. Everybody knows that. And he's, he's great at it. He doesn't even have to believe what he says to make a good argument. He said that himself many times, talking about his roles in sports media and everything. But what are his politics? So Stephen A. Smith, I know he's a good friend of Sean Hannity. I've heard him say this many times, and I've seen him on Sean Hannity's show several times throughout the years. They're really buddy, and he's definitely an economic conservative. Like, I can't imagine Stephen A. Smith. Stephen A. Smith would be, I think, worse than your average Democrat in a lot of ways, just on economics alone.
So Stephen A. Smith is interesting in the same way that Trump is interesting, because, like, kind of like how Trump is definitely hyper conservative in a lot of ways. No one's going to debate that. But like, he does some like weird, not conservative things. Like, he sometimes does the right thing on accident. He backs his way into some populist positions. He rarely actually does them, but he'll be like, hey guys, we should look to cut some military spending. He's not actually gonna fucking do it, but he'll like say shit like that. Stephen A. Smith is like that in the way that he has some just weirdly, like, he's economically fairly conservative, but he is someone who's like tax the fucking rich. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, Stephen A. Smith, he'll tax the billionaires. He'll run on that shit. Will he be as committed to doing it as, say, a Bernie Sanders? Fuck no, I'm sure not. But I'm pretty sure he's a universal health care guy. If again, I'm not like some Stephen A. Smith, know-it-all here, but he does hit a lot of the populist notes, of left-wing general policy. He's a little more like I feel like you see this a lot specifically with like older black men, where he has like that sort of style of social ideology where it's still very patriarchal. He's okay with the LGBT thing, but like personally it skeeves him out a little still, you can tell. Like that's kind of the direction he goes with things. So yeah, he's someone where you're not going to get all the policy we want here on the left. Don't get me wrong. I'd prefer a whole list of people over him. But if the question is, hey, should the Democrats be like kicking the tires on this guy and seeing what they have, seeing what he can do? Hell yeah. I would like to see him. If he wants to do it, I'd like the Democrats to platform him as much as possible, because the worst case scenario is you get more of confrontation between him and Trump, which Steven's going to win. That's what he's built for.
I didn't expect that. I didn't expect that answer from you here. Like, I don't know. I just, I see Smith. I don't know. I don't know how much good that does. If I know I don't have to aim for a Bernie Sanders type person to be who we rally behind, but I don't know. It's just the enshittification of politics. I guess it's already there, and like, I'd rather have someone that I wouldn't see. I'm just saying that I wouldn't see much of a difference outside of aesthetics and delivery between like a Stephen A. Smith presidency and a John Fetterman presidency. And I would hate a John Fetterman presidency. I mean, even if he could win, I would still hate it. And I think that's what I get a lot of Stephen A. Smith. So that's what it seems like to me.
A John Fetterman presidency might kill me. That's the difference. Is that a Stephen A. Smith presidency? I can be like, this is funny. This is fun in the same way that like Trump is. But like also I don't think that he's gonna blow up the world. Like I don't think he's gonna blow shit up. I think it would be much more similar to Trump term 1. In gonna be some bad shit. But like he's gonna lean towards our side, and that's the case. I'm not sitting here saying he's who I'm voting for in 2024. I'm saying give this guy some more airtime on political airwaves and just sick him loose like an attack dog. Because what else? Because you're right, the enshittification of politics, it accelerates that. But we're already fucking there. We're way past that, TJ. Like the point of no return is a long fucking time ago. The difference between Stephen A. and John Fetterman is I trust Stephen A. to like not do stupid shit. John Fetterman, I don't fucking know with that guy. Like I don't know where his brain's at. I don't know what his actual agenda is. I don't trust him as far as I can throw him. And I personally hate him. So like there's all of that. It might not even be a strategic thing. It's just I fucking hate him. You might be right. But he would be better at the communication things than John Fetterman. Like he'd be better at it. In fact, I would love to give him a Pete Buttigieg, you're gonna be in the cabinet just so we can put you on Fox News. Like that would be a great role for Stephen A. Smith. If I was to, we put a progressive in charge and we give Stephen A. Smith, one of those useless things like transportation secretary. What does that do anyway?
I know, right? How important is that? I mean, we're planes falling from the sky. That's so he wouldn't be, doing something like that. I don't know. Yeah, Stephen A. Smith, I got to see, because I just hear him talking a lot about the taxes thing, and if we want any progress, to see. Anyway, so the point though.
Anyway, Red Scare Claire asked if we're talking about sports Stephen A. Smith. Yes, we're talking about sports Stephen A. Smith. That's where we are, folks. It is depressing when you think about it. But to bring us back, when you have Hakeem Jeffries as our fearless leader, anything, a fucking steaming pile of shit would seem more likely to be successful. I really don't know how genuinely anyone in the world looks at Hakeem Jeffries and goes, that's who I want fighting for me every day of the week. No one, even fucking Hakeem Jeffries' mom is probably like, shit, I wish someone else was in there.
I gotta wonder, like, why Pelosi picked him for this. I wonder if he's really good at, because like Pelosi got her position mainly because she's great at fundraising. She was able to bring a lot of money to the coffers of the Democratic Party. And maybe Jeffries is the same way. I don't know. I don't. There's got to be some reason. But anyway, this is a clip that I found. Actually, Jeffries talking to Stephen A. Smith, and Hakeem Jeffries talks about how he is a sensible politician because he is not bending the knee to the far left or to the far right. And I just want to play this here.
Well, listen, the extreme left protest me more than they protest Donald Trump. Because literally, wherever I go. So I think in part because I've declined, I've refused, I've chosen not to bend the knee to either people on the far left
Pause.
and certainly not to Donald Trump and the far right. We all have a responsibility to serve the people we were elected to represent and the country and the Constitution. And I certainly have not been bashful and will not be bashful in disagreeing with people who are trying to take this country in a direction that doesn't lift everybody up, whether that comes from the right or whether that comes from the far left.
Okay, so I wanted to point out several things here. The first is I have grown quite tired of this this comparing the far left to the far right. I a long time ago I've been tired of this. That you have, like, on the far left you have communism, and on the far left you have Nazism. Even if you don't like communism, fine, I get it. Nazism is worse. Okay, Nazism is worse. Communism is an economic theory in which the workers own the means of production to produce a classless, moneyless, stateless society. That is your definition of communism right there. Nazism is racial supremacy of one group that needs to exterminate the others. There's a reason when you go to your clip art in like PowerPoint or Canva or whatever, you can find hammer and sickles, ain't no problem. You're not going to find swastikas because Nazism is a lot worse and a lot more offensive. So even if you want to say they're both bad, one is significantly worse than the other. And they aren't just as bad. They just aren't. And Hakeem Jeffries sitting there, I'm sick of him doing this. He will always take his opportunity to shit on the left flank. And you know who doesn't do that? The Republicans. I rarely see Republicans out there saying, oh, look, the far right is insane. We really need to distance.
They go out of their way to not criticize the far right.
Yes.
If you hold their fucking feet to the fire and be like, will you condemn Nazis? They will not condemn Nazis. They will not condemn white supremacists. Like, they won't. They'll be there at CPAC doing the fucking Sig Heil, and they're laughing about it. It's the exact opposite. And for someone like Hakeem Jeffries, even if you are going to make the argument that Nazis and communists are equally as bad, which again, they are not. If you are the leader of the left-wing party, you should not be placing yourself equally distant from the Nazis and the communists. Like, you should be closer to the communists. You should want to defeat the Nazis more than the communists because you're leading the left-wing party. They're part of your fucking coalition. Like, it's insane to me. And then they'll fucking complain when the communists don't vote for them. Like, you're literally saying we're just as bad as Hitler. I don't even get the argument that he tries to make.
Yeah, all of your fire should be trained on the right flank of American politics. It should be incessant. It should be nonstop. Every time you're in front of a camera, every time you're making a press release, every time you're talking in front of your colleagues, talking in front of your constituents, you should be saying, here is the problem with the United States economy right now. Here's the problem with the United States social issues right now. This is what's dragging down the people and stopping them from being prosperous and being happy, and pointing directly at the Republican Party as often as you can. Oh, another thing Jeffries does. I wish I had pulled up a clip for this. John, I know this is going to get you, but Jeffries very rarely will say something like, well, the Republicans are a problem. What he loves to say are the extreme MAGA Republicans. He's still saying it. Have you caught him saying that?
I mean, it's carryover from Joe Biden. Like, yeah. it is to me a signal. It's like, oh, we're going to do same as usual, because Joe Biden started doing that. I hated it when he started doing it, but at the very least, when Joe Biden started doing it, you could make the argument that he's trying to push the Republican Party away from MAGA extremism. You can at least make that argument where he's like, hey guys, I'll work with you if you leave those idiots. It didn't work, obviously. And now we're still doing it. And it's like, why? Every single Republican is voting in lockstep with Donald Trump. So either Donald Trump isn't far-right MAGA extremism, or nothing. That's the only, he is. And if the Republicans are voting with him, then all of the Republicans, the entire Republican congressional makeup, is far-right MAGA extremists. That's what they are. You cannot separate the two.
Yeah, I don't know why he keeps doing this and why any Democratic politicians or Democratic prominent leaders bother making that distinction. Like it's like if the 2024 election didn't prove to you that the Republicans will stick by Trump no matter what, I don't know what will. I really don't. That going all in on this strategy that you know what we got to do? We have to pull over those moderate Republicans, those sensible Republicans that know better, that want their country to return to normal. Although I do got to give a hats off to the Lincoln Project guys. What an incredible grift. Like what an incredible grift the Lincoln Project guy. I would love to, we should Google how much money the Lincoln Project ended up raising over the last, 8 years or so, saying we are the sensible, noble, Bill Kristol style Republicans that, really, really stand up against Donald Trump to have the same number of Republicans vote for Democrats whenever Trump ran. This is the clip that I was thinking of where Hakeem Jeffries, well, not only does he bring up my favorite extreme MAGA Republicans line, is he has a nickname for Donald Trump. Have you seen this, John?
Wonderful. It's wonderful.
All right, let's go.
Chaos and extreme MAGA Republicans. Chaos and extreme MAGA Republicans spent last year promising to lower the high cost of living and running away from Project 2025 as if it didn't exist. They've spent this year implementing the most extreme parts of the Project 2025 agenda, which will hurt the American people, while doing nothing, not a single thing, not a single bill, not a single idea, not a single plan to lower the high cost of living. In fact, the cost of groceries is going up, not down, including but not limited to the price of eggs. We've got to hold the Republicans accountable, and we will.
All right. Unfortunately, that clip did not cut out like the first half second, which is pretty important, where he says Captain Chaos, which is
Captain Chaos.
That ridiculous.
The worst nickname.
Yeah.
That not only is it a loser thing, it sounds like a Saturday morning cartoon. From
yes,
the 90s.
It does.
It also like he would make it think it sounds cool. Like Donald Trump is like that. He takes that as a compliment. Like it's not hurting him at all, bro.
No. And him, you know what I get tired of too is when people do this where they say that I've complained about this even before the election, that I don't like the focus on Project 2025. I don't. And he just did it there where Hakeem Jeffries says he's implementing Project 2025 because he's still operating on polling that Project 2025 is unpopular. Okay, but he won anyway. So that's clearly not cutting it, right? Like that, you need to go on. And that's why I say focus on the policies. Say why Project 2025 is bad. Say that, hey, this idea that the president is essentially a minor king, that's not cool. Well, maybe we need to take that power away and stop that from being implemented. But if you just signal toward Project 2025, the only people that's going to activate are the people who already have a negative opinion on it. You need to tell people why this is bad. Then again, this doesn't sound like difficult politics to me. It doesn't sound difficult politics to me. Identify your enemy. Don't identify a small sliver. Who is an extreme MAGA Republican? Which ones are MAGA Republicans? Which ones are extreme? Tell me. Tell me which one it is, or just say all Republicans. I don't understand. What is Kyle saying over here? Keith the Stubborn Jackass McGee, we wouldn't be happy, but we would be content. Kyle, you missed the beginning of the show where we talked about what we would do if all the right wingers disappear. This is the question he asked. What if every right winger suddenly disappeared? Then would you libs be happy? And our answer was that, well, if every right winger disappeared, we would search for them. We would do our best to try to find where these missing people were. And the first place we would look is directly up Keith's mom's ass, because that's where everyone is hanging out these days. John was just there last week. He was telling us all about it. And Kyle says, the whole we need to pivot to the center thing is always BS. They were going to turn to the right and then blame the left. Works every time. Every election cycle, Democrats pander to moderates and centrists, then blame the left for losing the election for them and move farther to the right and repeat the process. The Democrats are in a tricky situation politically because their donors fundamentally don't want a radical shift away from the direction of capitalism. And that's what a lot of their constituents want. So they got to find a way to denigrate their constituents while appealing to the donors, and it kind of keeps them stagnant. Like it's going to be a dead political party if they don't, dynamically activate the way they put their messaging and the priorities.
It's very interesting because to me, it seems like the Democrats have found themselves into the position where they are the ones arguing for the status quo, which doesn't make any sense ideologically. traditionally conservatives, like by definition, are the ones who advocate for the status quo. They want things to stay the same. This is how it was explained to me when I was a little kid by my mom. I asked her, I was probably like 4 or 5 years old. I was like, what's the difference between Democrats and Republicans? She said, well, more or less, the Republicans like to basically keep things the way they are, and the Democrats like to change things. And honestly, to this day, that is one of the most succinct summaries of political ideologies I've ever received in my entire life. So thank you, Mom. But like that has flip-flopped. Like if you look at what the Democrats have done, it's all the same shit. Like you said, the Project 2025 thing, they haven't changed their phrasing, their messaging around that at all, despite the fact that they just lost. They refuse to do that. They refuse to stop trying to distance themselves from the far left like anyone wants that. There's no voters out there who are like, you know what? If Democrats go too far left, I'm going to vote for Donald Trump. No one's fucking going to do that. The people who are going to vote for Donald Trump are going to vote for Donald Trump. The people who are going to vote for Democrats are going to vote for Democrats. The thing you need to do is get more of the people who aren't voting to go out there and vote for you. And the reason they aren't voting is because they don't see a particularly good reason to do so. So you got to give them a reason. And if they aren't aware of what Project 2025 is, my God, you might have to explain it to them. You might have to say, hey, go out. Look, Donald Trump is cutting Medicare. I want to play a clip now, TJ, because this gave me hope when I saw it, but it also kind of pissed me off because of what I've been saying about how the Democrats are just completely unprepared for this moment. So this is a clip off of C-SPAN. I'm just going to
Donald Trump, and they have a place called down here, Public Debt, and a lot of
John, I think you got to mute your thing. It's echoing.
Hold on.
Crying, nervous, and they were forever Trumpers. But on a personal note, I'm a diabetic and I'm on Medicare. And when Joe Biden was in there, my insulin was $6 for a 28-day supply. I just went to CVS to get my new supply. It went back up to $80, they said, because the American Recovery Act was canceled. So it went from $6 to $80. So I don't know if anybody else out there on Medicare. Yes, ma'am.
It is a crime that is not already playing in political attack ads in every nursing home in the country. Yes. I don't understand why they won't directly message to the people that need to hear it, because like that is a custom built attack ad right there. It's so simple. Hey guys, I'm in West Virginia. I sound like the straightest, whitest white dude you ever met in your entire life. Mm-hmm. Donald Trump is cutting my Medicare. What the fuck? What's going on here? That's it. Just push these very simple things with targeted messaging over and over and over and over again. And this should have already been prepared 6 months ago. Like I don't even like, we knew this was going to happen. We seem unprepared about it. I don't get it, DJ.
Yeah, it does kind of make you wonder why it's that incompetent, because, I mean, say what you want about these folks, but they are professional politicians. Like every one of these people have run multiple campaigns. They've advised in campaigns. They know what it takes to actually win. And just doing something as simple as, so a couple of episodes ago, you asked me something I would do if I were Hakeem Jeffries in his position. And one thing I forgot to mention, I can't believe I didn't say it, was exactly this, that if I were Hakeem Jeffries, every time I was speaking, not only would I be attacking Republicans and training all my fire Republicans, saying I'm not worried about the coalition left, I'm worried about saving the country. That if you want to be nonpartisan, you can do something that way. And then, just fire on the people who are damaging the country, but come out with stories of how people are being hurt by what's going on in the Trump administration. Talk about, I just saw a story in Oklahoma that there's one county, every county in Oklahoma voted red this year, and for the president, and how 600 people are losing their jobs because of these budget, or not just, but random cuts that Elon Musk is doing, and how that community is devastated. There are countless examples of this. Talk about the fact there are 30% of all people who are employed by the federal government are military veterans. Find the military veterans who have been cut, who are set to be cut. Talk about how people are losing their houses, losing their insurance over and over again. Just hammer this message home. I mean, it's simple stuff you could learn from the Trump administration that these little personal anecdotes work, especially when you have no power. When you have no actual power, crafting the narrative is one of the best things you can do.
And to jump onto the if I were Hakeem Jeffries thing, I would not be the one going out there and doing that, to be fair, TJ, because I have, as you said, the charisma of a brain dead rock.
Yeah.
He's completely Rizz-Less. But I guarantee you, there is a stable of people with influence. I don't want to say Hollywood celebrities because that gets a bad rap, but there are a lot of people in this country who are very well liked, who can go on any fucking show in America that people listen to and say these kinds of things. If you organize them, you give them a couple talking points, they want to help, just give it to them. Have a planned, coordinated messaging strategy across multiple channels. It cannot just be mainstream legacy news outlets. It has to be everywhere. It has to be on Entertainment Weekly. It has to be on sports programs. It has to be everywhere, talking about these little things. Hey, here's what you can loop into your guest appearance on the Jason Kelsey podcast, right? Like these are the little things that you can do. And there are troves of people just waiting. They want to help fight Trump. They don't know how. This would be an easy way to activate them and an easy way to get these very obvious messages across to Americans all over the country. Donald Trump has created more fear and more energy around completely made up bullshit than the Democrats have about the real, actual, tangible lives being destroyed by Donald Trump. We don't have to make shit up, and yet somehow we are worse at talking about the shit that's really going on than Donald Trump is at fabricating lies and complete narratives and just running with it. And it's been 8 years, and we haven't learned how to do that for some reason.
So with this now, I have a theory here on this. This is actually something here that all right. So I don't know if you guys have seen these clips of these town halls that Republicans are going to and people yelling at them. Here's an example. Well, at least I hope so. I pulled it up on Twitter. So here, let's go.
You can go and yell all you want, but I can't understand 10 people, let alone 100 people.
Not the president. And you are doing us a disservice to set that down and not stand up for us. And
Be litigated in court. You don't think I'm gonna stand up for you? Stand up.
All right, so I should have seen who that politician was. All right, but a lot of these, have you seen these clips, John, of Republicans getting yelled at? Okay, so here's I have a theory on this, like a wild one right here. I've seen a lot of these by several Republican congressmen going back to their districts, and it's full of people yelling at them about how Elon Musk is unelected and Elon Musk is, destroying the country and hurting the economy. I don't think this is what people are saying it is. I don't think those are Republican voters. I don't believe it. Like the way they don't sound like Republican voters to me. They sound like Democrat voters. They sound like, because how many Republicans are going to go up there and say an unelected bureaucrat is saying, no, that's something that Democrats would say. They would find some other way, like Republicans critique the same things different ways than we do. So if that's the case, if my suspicion is correct on this, the Democrats do more of this, like activate people in there are plenty of Democrats in red districts. Tell them to flood the town halls. That will help control the narrative. Like, because Democrats usually wouldn't show up to a Republican town hall. Why would they? But if they did just to be fucking annoying and did this nationwide, that would be a good strategy. That would help do what John was saying, is that the narrative needs to get out there, that if these keep being recorded, these keep getting risen in the cultural zeitgeist, it could help shape the narrative, because unfortunately the narrative is people's reality. And just waiting on Republicans to say, well, I guess I was wrong about Trump, that's not going to help us out here. Like, what do you think, John?
So I think that what you're saying is probably partially true, but not all of it. I think there's definitely, especially on a local level, organizations sending Democrats to Republican town halls to do that sort of thing. However, I will say, just going from that video, again, I know nothing about this area, or that was the first time I saw that particular video, but I have seen other videos like it. That audience, the reaction, Democrats aren't capable of faking that so successfully in such large numbers. Like, if we were capable of successfully infiltrating the amount of town halls I've seen videos from, and having that genuine of a reaction with our like fake Republicans, right? We wouldn't have lost this election. Like there's something there that doesn't add up to. There's a level of cohesion and just competency that I don't believe that to be true. I believe that they sent a couple agitators, but I do also think that the general population that was attending that town hall anyway was also outbursting and are generally angry because, like, they weren't paying that fucking CNN or not C-SPAN caller to call in and like, like there have been many real fucking complaints by Republicans about what is going on. And again, this is something that I have been harping on a lot since we lost the election, before Donald Trump took power, that the vast majority of Trump voters are not hardcore, dyed-in-the-wool, far-right MAGA worshipers. They are low-information voters who basically just went out and voted for whoever their pastor or whoever their person is that they go to for whatever it is, Fox News, whatever, told them to be the case. This stuff with Elon is toxic, and we've been saying this for a while. He is turning these types of people off because they don't like him. There's the fucking like technocrat California Republican that likes him, but the general Republican voter base doesn't like someone like Elon Musk. He's abhorrent to them. Do you disagree with that?
Your general Republican, I think, has a high opinion of Elon Musk. I would be amazed if your general Republican didn't have a very high opinion of Elon Musk. That would
I'm not saying so because Elon Musk is attached to Donald Trump specifically, yes. But I'm saying someone like Elon Musk, the personality of Elon Musk. You've never seen him in the Republican media sphere before. He like this type of person that is you're extremely online, kind of dweebish. Kind of technocratic guy. Like, can you think of another Republican? Like, Ben Shapiro is maybe the closest you can get to, but also Ben Shapiro isn't designed to necessarily appeal to your town hall going 65-year-old church member who's doing this sort of thing. Like, he's designed to appeal to your young male, online audience. Those are two different parts of the Republican Party. And Elon Musk, I don't think, does well with 65-year-old church ladies.
I don't know. I'd have to say. I honestly, I would be surprised. I really would. Because it's like, who is Elon Musk? He's a rich guy who bought Twitter to bring back free speech. Like, what people would actually know about him, maybe 10 years ago, when Musk was the electric car guy, they would have had a low opinion of him. But now I can't imagine, especially since he's been around Trump all the time now, they definitely know who he is. And what's his whole thing? I'm out there cutting government waste. I'm going out there and exposing the fraud and abuse that, from what people see about Elon Musk on television, I don't think your average Republican is going to care that federal workers lose their jobs. I really don't. I think they're going to say, "Oh, good. These people need to go out and get a real job like me." That's what they would think. I haven't seen the data on it, but I would be surprised if they have an immediate visceral reaction to Elon Musk without, maybe a few months from now, it might be a little bit different when, the economy goes into a recession because we have thousands of laid off workers, looking for jobs. But I don't know. I'd have to see that. Did you see Elon Musk's email thing from Saturday? I know you said you checked the news. Did you see that?
Well, so this was going on since last week, though. I don't know. I haven't been following this one very closely. I do know that he said all federal workers have to send him 5 things he did last week in his email, which, like, excuse me, is the dumbest fucking thing, even on its face. Like, I posted about this because I was like, the idea of sending your boss an email with 5 things that you did last week that that he isn't ever going to read. That's the kind of like bullshit corporate HR-ified behavior that has been associated negatively with liberals over the past like 10 years or so. Like when I think of that sort of thing, I think of a moderate liberal Democrat in HR telling me to do that. That just pisses people off because it's dumb. It's inefficient by like every stretch of the imagination. I see Republicans arguing. Matt Walsh has been fucking. I don't know if you saw Matt Walsh's.
No, I hadn't seen his reaction.
But they have been vitriolic. He's like, fire every single one of them. Fire everyone that complains about it. And it's like, bro, I know that you never really stood for free speech, but like, come on, like that's as blatant as it gets. But either way, this is the bullshit that pissed people off about Democrats. And this is why I say like it's bullshit. It's clear on your face. Everyone in America can recognize it. Bullshit. Everyone who's ever worked in corporate America has had to send some list of stupid fucking tasks that is completely pointless and doesn't help them do their job, but they have to do it because some fucking higher up made them do it. That's exactly what this is. It spits in the face of exactly what ostensibly Doge is trying to do, which is make the government more efficient. It's doing the opposite of that in a way that is so clear and easy to understand for, again, everyone who's ever worked a corporate job in America. So, and probably beyond that, anyone who's ever even touched corporate America has probably had to do this at some point. So like, this is the kind of thing to me that like, it has an expiration date. It cannot continue in perpetuity, which is one of the scary things about fascism. It can't continue in perpetuity.
Yeah.
It needs to constantly escalate. It's either going to burn itself out or it's going to consume more fuel. And we definitely don't want to consume more fuel. And we need to do everything we can to make sure it burns itself out.
John, it's actually a lot worse than what you said about how that, sending a list of 5 accomplishments you had last week to your boss is something that people in the corporate world go through and how I think that's absurd. They're not even sending it to the boss. They're sending it to Elon Musk.
It's even worse. Yeah, exactly.
Musk. Yeah, it is someone who has nothing to do with your organization, who has no idea what you're doing, who couldn't possibly read all 2 million emails and everything.
Which, to be fair to Elon Musk, is exactly how he runs the companies he's actually involved
with. It's insulting, is what it is. And he sent. By the way, he sent the email on Saturday. And I saw him tweet this out. Well, I didn't see him. Someone posted it, and I read the post about the tweet because I have Elon Musk blocked on Twitter. But it said, I will be sending an email to every federal employee saying, give me a list of 5 things you accomplished last week. Failure to respond to this email will be considered a resignation. The deadline is 11:59 p.m. Monday night. And a few hours later, my sister is an audiologist for the VA hospital in San Diego. And she sent me a text saying, oh, yeah, here, I got the email. Here it is. Tell me 5 things you did. And I remember seeing that and saying, okay, well, what if these folks aren't terminally online and watching the news and don't know about this email? And like they're on vacation Monday or they're sick or something and they don't get to see it. You're just going to fire them? You think that makes sense? It's like, it's a dumb idea overall, but just not thinking about the logistics and the particulars of this. And who is going to be qualified to look over this list to see if they're doing a good job or not? What if last week was just a down week for you? What if you're working on one project the entire time? I mean, the questions are simple, and like a 4th grader could realize why this is a stupid idea. But Elon wants to make a flash in the pan showing like he's doing something. And he's been trying to defend these last few days, saying stuff like, well, listen, the people who responded and did a good job, I think they should be eligible for promotion. How would you know, Elon Musk? How would you know what a good job even looks like? You have no idea what's going on with any of these people. And that kind of atmosphere, you're right, John, is like, the legality of it is weird too. That if you don't respond to this email, we're going to fire you. That doesn't seem that a lot of agencies just straight up told their people, no, don't respond. The FBI.
Tulsi said don't respond.
Yeah, intelligence, the FBI said it. The Pentagon said, no, listen, don't even bother responding to that. And Elon Musk sent out another message saying, a lot of people didn't respond. And I don't understand because this is a simple task. This is just writing a few lines and hitting send. This shows you how lazy that a lot of these workers are. And it's like, that is going to get tiring on people really quick. Oh, did you see that video that was playing at of Donald Trump kissing Elon's feet? Did you see that?
I fucking love that.
Yes, I saw that. I forgot what building it was in. It was some building
it was the Housing and Urban Development.
Okay, yeah. So it was playing for a few minutes and someone had hacked into it and broadcast that video and they were unable to shut the video off. And so they ended up having to unplug all the televisions to get rid of it. So I'm hearing that this video was fake. I'm hearing that Trump didn't actually, suck Elon Musk's toes. You're pulling it up, John?
Yes, I am.
So long live the real king. And there's a video there of Donald Trump kissing Elon's feet. I'm hearing that this video is fake, but do we have any evidence that it's fake?
Yeah.
Because if I haven't seen anyone prove to me that this didn't actually happen. So as far as I'm concerned, it did. That's what I'm
have
with.
As much evidence that this video is fake that Doge is finding actual fraud. There's been equal amounts of evidence presented to each. So if we expect to believe that they're finding actual fraud, then they should expect us to believe that Donald Trump is actually sucking on Elon Musk's feet here.
It makes sense to me. I mean, he's doing it figuratively. Why not do it literally? I wanted to show this. Only got a few minutes left here, but this has we're gonna stop talking about Elon for a while and go back to the guy who's like listed as president of the United States, Donald John Trump. And have you heard about green cards, John? You know what a green card is, right?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. Have you heard of gold cards?
I've not heard of gold cards. No.
Me neither. But Donald Trump apparently has created this. And let's see what he has to say.
The most Trump. I haven't even heard of this. This is new to me. Just hearing this now.
All right. Let's see what Trump has to say here.
Something else that's going to be very, very good. We're going to be selling a gold card. You have a green card. This is a gold card. We're going to be putting a price on that card of about $5 million, and that's going to give you green card privileges plus. It's going to be a route to citizenship, and wealthy people will be coming into our country by buying this card. They'll be wealthy, and they'll be successful, and they'll be spending a lot of money and paying a lot of taxes and employing a lot of people. And we think it's going to be extremely successful. Never been done before, anything like this, but it's something that we're going to be putting out over the next, would you say 2 weeks out? Do you want to say a couple of words about it? Something else?
Oh, I didn't catch the end there where he said in the next 2 weeks. I forgot that's Donald Trump's thing. Everything, we got a healthcare plan. It'll be out in 2 weeks. You know, what are you going to do to solve our immigration issue? I got a plan. It'll be out in 2 weeks. That's his favorite thing. So, John, have you heard about this? Pay $5 million for a gold card.
I had not heard about it. It's one of those things where I'm like, like, you know, if you're just going to add that option onto the already available things, whatever. It's kind of dumb. You know, I would make the argument that, you know, that's a pretty dumb, if you're arguing they're going to spend a lot of money, sure they are, but they're going to spend a lower percentage of their money than less rich people are. So if you are going to like be letting in people into this country by the amount of money they're going to spend, it is far more efficient to let poor people in because they are going to spend more of their money here. But yeah, sure. Whatever, Donnie, you want to let rich people into the country. I'm pretty sure we were already doing that. So if you want to charge them $5 million for it, it's no skin off my fucking back, TJ. That's how I feel about it.
Yeah, there is a program that is similar to this right now. I forget what it's called. It's like an SB-5 visa.
Yeah, I always assumed rich people could just come live here and just talk to someone and be like, okay, we're good.
It's so the way it's set up now, and people correct me if I'm wrong on this, but if you invest $5 million into American businesses, into like private businesses that are being run in the United States, you can get, credit as that investor, and they will help you fast track your American citizenship. But Trump is getting rid of that program, replacing it. Well, I mean, supposedly he wants to replace it with, no, just pay the government $5 million and we'll give you this gold card, which I don't know. Like I just assume it's some sort of scam with Trump. I just assume like that he's the scam king.
They're paying Donald Trump personally $5 million.
That is like, I don't know if I'm not saying that, but that is some way to sort of scam it out and everything. Because when I first heard it, my thought was, all right, anybody who has $5 million is not going to have a difficult time becoming an American citizen, right? There's no person with that much money who's like, oh man, if only I could get a green card to work in the United States. I think they'll find a way, right? I think they'll find a way that's pretty smooth and pretty simple. But I also wanted to juxtapose what Donald Trump said with something that you guys may have heard before. And how does it go? It goes like, give us your tired, your poor, your huddled masses and everything. That's what we used to say, or at least we said we stood for. But I like that now we've just jettisoned it. No, not really. No, fuck your tired, your poor, your huddled masses. We want nothing to do with them. We want the opulent. We want the people who are already the leeches on society, in their home countries to come over here.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just reading about this. So it's the EB5 investor visa.
EB5,
what it
SB5.
originally
Thank you.
was, and it's a minimum of $800,000.
Mhm.
Do you know what I guarantee you this is?
What?
So like they did some bullshit thing where it's like, pitch me an idea, and they're like, we got this visa program for rich people. What if we raised the price and called it a gold card? And Donald Trump was like, son of a bitch, I'm in. That sounds like exactly what I'm gonna do. And it may or may not happen. Who gives a shit? That's I think that Donald Trump also fucking hates himself right now. Like every video I watch of Donald Trump, he's just bored and sad. He won, and now he's like, well, I'm kind of done with this now. Would you agree with that, TJ?
I don't know if he hates himself right now. I mean, he's got I think that he kind of always just wanted the position and the power, and he's making good on the people. I think Trump is like this because he's not out touring. He's not out giving his speeches. I think that he kind of feeds off it, like the monsters in Monsters Inc., how they need the screams and the terror to feel good about themselves. I think you take Trump away from a crowd for a long enough time, his life force slowly starts to drain away from him. So I think he's just hating the fact that he's stuck in D.C. this past month. But once he gets back on the road, he'll be back to the Donald Trump that we all know and hate.
I could agree with that. Do you think what would you put the over under on will he make it through the term?
Oh yeah, I would bet everything I own, even stuff that I don't even have. I would put myself into a very precarious financial situation to bet that Donald Trump will make it through this term. I personally think Donald Trump is going to live to 104 years old. I think that he's clearly blessed by whatever spiritual deity out there that is giving him longevity. The guy lives off of McDonald's and Diet Cokes, and he never exercises. We're not joking about this. Yeah, there's articles and clips of Donald Trump saying that he doesn't believe in exercise. He has this weird theory that exercise drains your life energy away from him. So he plays tennis and golf. That's the max of what he's ever done. He weighs like 300 and something pounds, and he looks like a gelatinous blob. And he's outliving like marathon runners and everything. I think he's going to live a long time. And I think he's going to make it through his presidency, definitely.
So I generally agree with you that he obviously has, he made the same deal that Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady did with the devil. Like he's got something. I don't know what it is, but he sacrificed something for whatever he's getting, because the black magic just does not seem to run out. But I want to share this clip with you because this is what gave me this thought. And I just listen to him here.
It demolished. Had the most beautiful domes. Those domes are the most beautiful.
But it's all Russia's. But that's Russia's fault, though. Russia
They're
did
all
the
demolished. 1,000-year-old domes, and everything's demolished. I mean, it's like a demolition site, though. It's sort of like Gaza. In fact, it's more. At least Gaza has a couple of buildings standing. I mean, this place. You take a look at the demolition of so many of those cities, and and all those people are killed. Never to come back again.
But Mr. President, that's all. That's Vladimir Putin's fault. Don't you agree?
I get tired of listening to it. I'll tell you what. I've seen it enough. And then he complains that he's not at a meeting that we're having with Saudi Arabia trying to intermediate a peace. Well, he's been at meetings for 3 years with a president who didn't know what the hell he was doing. He's been in the meetings for 3 years. And nothing got done. So I don't think he's very important to be at meetings, to be honest with you. He's been there for 3 years. He makes it very hard to make deals. But look what's happened to his country. It's been demolished.
But no, I hear you.
All right.
So I wanted to play that because doesn't he sound old? Like I heard that and I was like, shit, that sounds like an older Trump than I'm used to hearing. And like he does look like he's visibly aged since his first term. You can definitely, every president, he does a stressful thing, and he's old. He is old. But that was the first time I heard him, and I was like, shit, that sounded like an old man. Like that sounded like old man cadence. And if he's declining at that pace, I don't know if he makes it through the term, TJ, either. And here's the thing. I'm not saying he's going to die of just being old. Again, he could die of other things too. But like, I think that the combination of his age the fact that he genuinely doesn't want to do this, the fact that things could get really bad and he could be impeached, genuinely speaking, he could be. And I know we always talk about how like that's fake and stuff, but like if enough Republicans get in on it, if things get bad enough, if we experience like a 2008 style recession and collapse, and like you get enough Republicans on your side, the threat could be real. Because then it's JD Vance. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like they want to install JD Vance instead of Donald Trump. It would be advantageous for the Republicans to do so in that situation. Again, I'm not saying any of these things are likely to happen, but the combination of all the factors, I would not say there's zero chance he doesn't make it through the term. I would maybe say there's at this point about the same chance of that asteroid hitting the Earth, something like 3%. I'd be more surprised if the Dallas Cowboys win a Super Bowl in the next 4 years than if Trump doesn't make it through the term. I'll put it that way.
John, if you want to say it, I'll say it. There's a 0% chance Trump doesn't make it through this term, right? There's like, I don't see any universe in which it would be more advantageous for the Republicans to vote to impeach and convict Donald Trump than not. I just don't. I mean, there's like, that doesn't make the party look good. It like Trump's always going to have his, even if like, let's say politically for some reason, a majority of Republicans turn against Trump, you're still going to have 30% that will love him until the day they die. That's a lot of their voters. They don't want to go on record, even just to lose primaries, of being the people who voted against Trump. Or you can stick it out a couple more years. Trump's can't run again anyway. I don't know. I just don't see that happening. But who knows? I guess anything is possible.
It has to get bad. Like, it has to get bad, TJ. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, worse than it's gotten in American history. I mean, like, I don't know. It's like if I would say if we couldn't, Andrew Johnson was impeached and lost and won his conviction by 1 vote in the Senate. And Andrew Johnson, for my money, worst president in American history by a country mile. If we couldn't get rid of him, we're not getting rid of anybody. That's how I see it. I want to say real quick, I have some clips. We're still got a few minutes. Did you see those clips of Elon Musk at CPAC?
I saw a couple.
Yeah, there's only a couple. Well, here's one right here where Elon Musk is painfully unfunny. That's
ridiculous.
This is something that, say what you want about Donald Trump being an awful person and everything, but Donald Trump is legitimately funny. Elon Musk would give anything to be half as funny as Donald Trump. And he's tried. Here's a couple of clips of him trying to do that here.
So,
that was something.
I am become meme. Yeah, pretty much. I'm living the meme. It's like there's living the dream and there's living the meme, and it's pretty much what's happening.
All right, so he pulled out the line, "I am become meme," which is not a good joke. It's not a good set. Like, I see what he was trying to do, but it relies on you knowing the quote, "I am become death, destroyer of worlds," and then translating that to "I am become meme." It's not funny. Oddly enough, I was living the meme, now I'm living the dream is a good line. Like, that actually is a pretty good one, but he used it second when I just love the painful silence after he said, "I am become meme," when it was just very clear that the people who were like professional Elon Musk dick suckers didn't even chuckle at that line. And here's another one where...
Wait, TJ, before you go on the next one, because I have a couple thoughts on that one.
Yeah.
You're right. It's a terrible fucking line. But again, I'm not giving credit to Elon Musk on this one.
Okay.
But if you're actually like, if this were like a movie and I was like saying, oh, the author is trying to present an argument here, it would be that Elon Musk, like the person who said, "I am become death, destroyer of worlds," is trying to allude to the fact that he is painfully regretting the destruction that his choices have made, and is trying to express that to the world. I know that's not what's happening.
Yeah.
I know this man is clearly high on ketamine and is trying to make a joke that didn't land, but it is quite funny. Just the context of the joke, what it could mean if he had an ounce of media literacy, which we know that he doesn't.
That I guess that is true. It depends. There's too many layers, though.
There's too many layers.
Layers.
I'm not giving credit to Elon Musk. I'm saying that as an outside observer, it could sound like that if this were a movie. That's what the director is trying to get across. Clearly, the character is completely oblivious to it.
Yeah, even with the original, with the "I am become death, destroyer of worlds." So I guess the original is from the Bhagavad Gita. I guess it's not for but still, that line goes so hard that you would just assume he's saying it to be badass, right? Like you don't think he's saying it in a pensive and reflective mood or anything like that.
I am become death destroyer world. Just one of the greatest.
It's great. Yeah, it's great. And even because it's like that's not how anyone would say it. Like you would say, I have become death, but then you know what? It's like you have to know about the literary part of it. But anyway, here's another one from Elon Musk. I don't know if you saw this one, John, but which one is this? Here we go.
And have like a sense of humor, So like I mean, the sort of the left wanted to make comedy illegal, Like you can't make fun of anything. So then it's like comedy sucks. It's like nothing's funny. You can't make fun of anything. It's like legalize comedy. Yeah, legalize comedy. And
all right, you heard it here first, folks. Make fun of Elon Musk. Make as many jokes about Elon Musk as you can. Talk about how his body is shaped like a weird refrigerator. Talk about the fact that, he has all the money in the world, but still has to impregnate women through in vitro fertilization because he's somehow still unfuckable. About how he's a deadbeat dad. About, how he's a big, giant fucking nerd who nobody likes. And the only reason people pay attention to him is because he is a rich guy. Make fun of him for that. You heard it from Elon Musk. He's legalized comedy now.
It's so that is the clip I did see. And it's very funny because if I were giving a bad, I want to be clear. If I did this, it would not be funny.
No.
But if I were to give a bad satirical take on what Republicans say about comedy, it would sound exactly like that. Like that sounds like someone making fun of what Republicans say about comedy, and he is doing it in complete earnest sincereness. It is a sight to behold. And forget about the fact that he doesn't actually believe that. Forget about the fact that no one ever tried to make comedy illegal. Comedy has always been the domain of the left. We talk about this all the time because we understand what jokes are. We understand what comedy is. Even the very few right-wing comedians that are good, I can't even think of that many, but like they are joking with the audience instead of making actually well-constructed jokes. They're like, what do you call it? Clapter.
Yeah, that's what they love that shit. Yeah,
and that's what Elon Musk was going for. And the hilarious thing is, he still actually didn't get Clapter. Like he does. He's not even good at conservative comedy.
Yeah,
that's a crazy thing.
Yeah. Elon Musk. People have every incentive to support everything he does. The Donald Trump is what I say. Donald Trump is the only funny right-wing comedian. He's the only one. This is. Did you see this one, John? This one features. Argentinian president Javier Milei. I don't know if you saw this one. Okay,
this has become the clip show.
I know.
This is the chainsaw for bureaucracy. Chainsaw. That's
perfect. Elon Musk is the fucking dorkiest human on earth right there. Even if I was a big fan of Musk, seeing stuff like that, I would be embarrassed. He wanted to legalize comedy. That's one of the funniest things I've ever seen. That is one of the funniest things I've ever seen, just waving around, grunting with the chainsaw for democracy. I love it. Have you seen that one, John?
I did see that one. So Malay's actually interesting. Have you heard of what happened with the fucking crypto scam?
Oh, yeah, the rug pull.
Yeah, the rug pull. So he did a total rug pull, and people are actually turning on him over that because they lost a lot of money.
I'm actually surprised. Well, I heard that people were turning on Milei, and people were like, I say, oh, maybe Donald Trump shouldn't be hanging around Javier Milei because this crypto scam. I said, that's the right wing is nothing but crypto scams. And you know what? Since you brought it up, John, I know we're running late on the show here, but I actually had a Milei clip ready. It's a clip with Milei as Javier Milei looks, sounds, and acts like a mental asylum patient. Like the guy should not be in public. And I saw this video. It's in Spanish. I'm sorry, folks, but it's him ranting about how much he hates the left and how the left needs to be destroyed. It's on some news show. And I wanted to play this clip because honestly, as insane and as honestly dangerous as Milei is, I want your leftist politicians in the United States to come with this type of energy, like wild, crazy Wolfman energy when going after your standard ass Republican. Okay, here we go. Can you everyone read the subtitles? I think.
Al zurdo de mierda no le podés dar ni un milímetro.
Pero ¿me podés definir zurdo de mierda? Que no
Todos
lo
los que,
entiendo?
digamos, los colectivistas, los que ponen, digamos, o sea, esa idea. A ver,
¿Por qué le pones de mierda, digamos?
Porque son una mierda. O sea,
vos mezclás,
no,
pero,
es que si pensás,
pero
si pensás distinto te van a aniquilar. Ese es el punto. Es decir, vos al zurdo no le podés dar un milímetro, porque le das un milímetro y lo toma para destrozarte. Es decir, digamos, o sea, vos no podés negociar con el zurdo. No se negocia. No se negocia con esa mierda, no se negocia porque te van a llevar puesto. Si tienen un golpeador que caga trompadas a la mujer, digamos, si es de ellos, ¿entendés? Se pone el pañuelito verde y grita todo el tiempo contra el neoliberalismo, lo ocultan. ¿Me entendés? O sea, si de repente hay alguien que acosó a un periodista que acosa a otra periodista, lo ocultan. Es decir, a todos los de ellos lo ocultan. Todas esas aberraciones la ocultan. Ahora, si vos estás del otro lado, a vos te van a estropear, te van a matar, te van a dar con lo que sea. No les importa arruinarte la vida. ¿Por qué? Porque no pensás como ellos. Y ¿sabes qué es lo bueno de todo esto? Hay algo bueno en todo esto. Porque como el error es humano, como todos nos podemos equivocar, ¿sabes qué nos obligan? Nos obligan a ser mejores. Y como estamos siendo tan mejores que ellos, como los estamos aplastando en la batalla cultural, los estamos pasando de arriba, porque no solo le ganamos en lo productivo, somos superiores moralmente, somos superiores estéticamente, somos mejores en todo. Y les duele. Entonces, como no pueden pelear con las herramientas legítimas, se apalancan en el aparato represivo del Estado, poniendo torres de guita para hacernos mierda. Y aún así no pueden. Tuvieron que bajar la nota. ¿Me entendés? Que están perdiendo. Están desesperados, están perdiendo la batalla cultural. Los zurdos de mierda, por primera vez, se ven acorralados. Los zurdos.
Okay. So I want that much energy. I do. Like Javier Milei, I think he's like a blight on the earth and he's making life miserable for people. I believe he truly believes everything he says. Like I am convinced that guy is sincere in his pernicious beliefs. I want a tenth of that. You can imagine if Hakeem Jeffries came with a quarter that type of energy when talking about people who are taking food out of the mouths of hungry kids and taking jobs away from people.
So here's the thing, TJ, and we're over time here, but I got shit to say. And we are going to get to Red Scare Claire's questions because it's one of my favorite Q&A questions ever submitted on this show, and we are going to get to that. We will extend the length of the show just to get to that, but I have to talk about Milei because I have so far sort of kept my distance from Milei.
Good idea.
Well, in general, yeah, like physically, but like I am not entirely confident that what he's doing won't work in Argentina. I think that economically he makes some good arguments for a country in Argentina's position where they have been floundering for decades to try and have a lifestyle similar to, top tier economies without the production to back it up. And so in that kind of economy, I'm not entirely confident that austerity won't work. It definitely doesn't work in developed economies like the US, like the UK when they fucking try. Like, it just doesn't fucking work. But it might work in Argentina. So I've been keeping my distance of having any strong takes about his actual policy. I'm genuinely interested because I'm not personally affected by the horrible shit that he's doing. I'm interested to see how it works out.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, I agree with everything you just said. I don't speak that language. I speak un poquito español. But I was just on his side there. I was like, obviously he's talking about me, but if you just like traced over leftists and just put fucking right wingers, I'd be like, fuck yeah. I'm all on board with this guy. Let's fucking go. And it's a take in general that I've been trying to thread the needle on, because while what these like Milei and Trump and what Elon is clearly trying to emulate, he's trying to emulate Milei's economic theory, which might maybe work in Argentina, but will never work in the US. what they are doing is incredibly destructive in the way that they're doing it. But if you had someone who had the tenacity and will to just say, fuck you, stop me, with also the intelligence to implement policy in a sound way, which actually improves people's lives, I would die for that guy.
Yeah.
Like, I would be all behind him. He doesn't exist. But Bernie might be that guy. I actually don't think so. I don't think Bernie would actually be that guy if he was president. No. But like, if that guy existed, I'd be all for him, TJ. I want the Democrats to learn that lesson. I like all of the fucking shit, all the things they didn't do because they preemptively said they couldn't do it. Just fucking do it. Yeah. Dare them to stop you. And that does have consequences. I want to be very clear. There are consequences to that. It increases instability. It makes us seem like less stable allies to our like international partners. It can create volatility in markets that can be bad for people. But like, it's needed. The world, a lot of places in the world are clamoring for change. And if you don't present an enthusiastic path to change, you are going to lose people because people do not want the status quo. They haven't for a long, long time. And until the Democrats learn this, until they can foot someone who's willing to talk like that, they're going to keep losing. They just are. I'm not even saying make that guy the head of the party. That's obviously a long stone throw away. But like, just don't give me fucking Hakeem Jeffries.
No.
Which brings us to Red Square's question. Who is more Rizz-Less, Musk or Jeffries?
Well, I know my answer. I don't know about you. I don't think it's particularly close. I think Jeffries has a lot less Rizz than Elon Musk. I do. And I say that because Elon Musk does put in the effort to try to be funny. Like Elon Musk, he doesn't have any comedy like to bring out. Like if I would need to have sex with Elon Musk for him to have a comedic bone in his body. That is the only way it could possibly happen. But like Hakeem Jeffries, but Elon Musk, he just doesn't have it. But he at least puts forth the effort. Like he goes out in the crowd. He's got the goofy sunglasses and the hat on. I am become meme. He had the black hat with the MAGA hat said, I am dark Gothic MAGA. He tries. Like he wants nothing more to be funny. I don't think Jeffries cares if he's funny. I don't. I think that someone probably told him, hey, come up with a nickname. And he focus grouped a bunch of names, like stay with Captain Chaos. And I don't think he cared if it was funny. He's like, oh, maybe it'll catch on. But yeah, I vote Musk more charisma than Jeffries.
I think I also have to agree with that because say what you will about Elon. And I think that the level to which he tries is so cringeworthy.
Yeah.
It detracts in my mind. However, it does work on way more people than you think it should. And just the fact that it works on anyone, he has more reason. I've never seen a single Hakeem Jeffries fan. I've never seen someone go like, yo, you know what guy really like I get behind in politics? Hakeem.
Yeah.
I see Nancy Pelosi stands.
Yep. Tons of them.
I've never seen anyone speak any good words about Hakeem Jeffries. I've heard at best, let's give the guy a shot.
Yeah.
Maybe he knows what he's doing. I've never heard someone enthusiastically go like Hakeem Jeffries. That's my guy. Even the dumbest people I know. No fucking way. So yeah, I do have to say, as much as I think Musk is like anti-Rizz,
yeah,
at least he's got something. It's like that Mad Men meme where he's like, I don't even think about you. Like that's Hakeem Jeffries. Like it's just like he's just nothing. It's a complete nothing burger.
It is. It's too bad. But, all right, folks, that's going to be it for today's show. Any final thoughts, John, for the good people out there?
No, that's it. Definitely make sure to join us on 6:30 EST on Thursday. TJ, who's our guest on Thursday?
Serafina Simone is going to be our guest on Thursday.
We'll have another rendition of some religious talk. I hope that people liked that last week because it'll probably be back this week. But anyway, see you guys then. Look forward to it.
Later, guys.